to our review of Pet Sematary, book versus movie. So we managed to do away with our cowardly ways and we actually went to go see a horror movie.
Yeah, I just ripped it off like a band-aid. I just didn't even think. I just ordered the tickets. I'm like, Chelsey, would you like to go see Pet Sematary? She's like, okay. And I'm like, tickets are bought, we're going. You're trapped.
So yeah, I don't know, the movie just came out, the posters look cool, and then we're like, alright, well, we read a Stephen King book and it was good, so maybe this one will be good too. And so we read it and then we're like, oh.
I did my usual, which is get halfway through the Stephen King book, go and see the Stephen King movie, and then proceed to finish the book the next day.
We have not, of course, seen the 1989 version of Pet Sematary. It looks to follow the book pretty closely and have not aged well. We obviously have not seen Pet Sematary 2, which came out in 1992 and was mostly shit.
I feel like we have to watch that.
Why?
For reasons.
We decided that we were going to do kind of a comparison between the book and the movie, and I think a lot of people are going to be doing that, but this is our version, so shut up.
Okay, so I think my biggest problem with this movie was actually the ad campaign, because in the trailers and the poster it alluded to the fact that Gage was not the one who died, it would be Ellie. And man, I would have loved it if I went into that movie being like, okay, it's time to watch a toddler die, and get that bait and switch.
Yes.
Of like the truck going for him grabbing Gage, because he, like, in the book he replays that over and over in his mind of like, if I had just got him, I thought I touched the back of his back, if I had that's like, if I had grabbed him it would be over. And so like seeing that play out on screen and me being like, oh, for a split second, like, maybe this, like, Gage actually got hit by the truck and we're just watching the idealized version. And then you see Ellie just get, like, slammed as the back of the truck goes flying off and just, like, takes her out. I would have lost my goddamn mind.
Yeah, honestly, that would have been, like, the perfect, like, just fuck you to the audience.
Yeah.
Like, now we have you.
Right. Nothing is the same. And they could have just easily done the ad campaign based off of Church.
Mm-hmm. It would have been pretty good.
Because
yeah.
Creepy angry cat, and I mean that was a creepy angry cat, did not seem very uncat-like to me.
That's true. It was very much a cat. I don't know what they were freaking out about. So unfortunately they didn't do that. But I mean, I think the movie poster is actually what kind of drew me in. It's so cool, like, and there's just so many like levels of it, and you just kind of like take like a little like binoculars and kind of scroll your way down, and you just see so much interesting shit.
And the trailer was really creepy. The first trailer.
With the kids.
With the kids.
Yeah.
In the woods. I think they did a really good job at kind of trimming the fat of the story to make it run for an hour and a half.
Yes, for sure it did.
The only thing that got cut that I kind of like, the Judd-Lewis relationship kind of fell by the wayside, which kind of was sad because it was so cute. Because
in the book it was like, he basically is like, in this house I found my second father, or like the father I should have had growing up, and that was Judd for him. And so Judd was very much like his good friend and somebody he trusted, like, implicitly.
And that's why when Judd brings him to the Micmac burial ground, it's just that the more heartbreaking, because
Judd really wants to do good by Lewis, but outside forces want otherwise.
Yes.
Another thing that got cut out of this version of the movie was the Wendigo. Now, like, the Wendigo wasn't even, like, really a big part of the book, but it was always kind of, like, haunting the background, which was a lot of fun. Like, it was, like... You
kind of see the Wendigo at one point when he's going in with Ellie. You can kind of see its form coming out of the
woods.
The woods. And I was like, yeah, bring it out! Like, you know, like, fuck me up, movie! I'm ready. I watched Hannibal religiously. I'm here for some Wendigo imagery.
Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. But I liked how they did the boundary. Pet Sematary was, like, hyper-realistic. It felt like it was shot on, like, location in the middle of the woods. And then once they crossed over the deadfall, the little swamp, like Little God Swamp, wherever you, like, towards it became super fake.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like it was on a soundstage, and the back of my mind was like, oh, like, look, because we've crossed into, like, a, like, different reality almost, right? Like, magic can exist here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was well shot. And I like the way they set up, like, the little pet cemetery, because, like, in the book they talk about spirals and how it's just like kind of like a natural thing that happens, but it kind of like speaks to a greater symbol. And then you could like, when they pulled out, you could see that there were actual like spirals in the way the burials were.
I liked how they did the scene for Pasco, how he died.
Yeah.
Like, that was intense. Like,
yeah.
Imagine that was your first day of work.
Oh my god, but I turned to her and I was like, of course they hit the one black guy in Maine. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this cast is all white. You could have just left it all white. You had to just take the one disposable character and make him black. Thanks, movie.
Okay, so the actress who played Ellie, whose name I'm blanking on, did a really good job.
Yeah.
I liked her eyes.
Her cold dead eyes.
Well, because one eye was kind of like facing off in a, like the pupil was like not centered, it was off in one direction. Just because, yeah, like just the attention to detail was creepy.
It was like not put together right, basically. Like when she came back, it didn't quite fix her. Yeah. Another big difference is the way Rachel kind of sees the death of her sister Zelda, because death has always been like kind of a terrifying thing for Rachel when she watched her sister as a young girl die, and she always kind of felt guilty about that. Zelda in this book was way creepier than she was. Zelda in the movie was way creepier than she was in the book.
And they added an extra layer of guilt to Rachel because in the book Zelda dies when she's home alone with her sister. Her parents have gone out. But in the movie, she's home alone, and instead of bringing the food up to her sister, she puts it in the dumbwaiter and sends it up, and then her sister ends up falling and dying in the dumbwaiter. So if she had only gone up and brought the food up, her sister would still be alive. She wouldn't.
But like, she wouldn't have died so terribly.
That kind of like guilt just like eating away at the back of her brain.
Yeah. So of course you have the requisite Stephen King
climbing out of a small place that she shouldn't fit.
She was probably the most terrifying thing in that movie. I was just like, oh god, not the fucking dumbwaiter again. Please stop it with the dumbwaiter. What I really liked about kind of the way things worked out when they switched it from Gage to Ellie is the fact that Ellie is a lot more scary than a toddler to me. Like, especially reading the book, it seemed highly unrealistic that Gage could overpower an adult, and at one point somebody like conveniently trips over the cat.
The only death that I found believable for Gage overpowering an adult was the mother. Mm-hmm. Because she sees Gage and the maternal, like, that is my child who I never thought I would ever see again instinct takes over, and like, you know, she hugs him, and that gives Gage all the time to go stabby, stabby, stabby on her back. But
I think Judd knew he was coming.
Yes.
And he was prepared, and then like he trips over the cat, and you're just like, really?
Yeah. I was surprised in the book that they didn't kind of lead into the whole like love blinds you to like things, and you're willing to accept more. Like in The Strain, how the vampires come back to their loved ones because they know that their loved ones will accept them, and then they can go all stinger on you and infect you. So like,
love is their tool for getting in.
Yeah, so I was surprised that that wasn't more of a thing with Gage, but I guess because Lewis knew what he was doing. And it kind of played more into the movie because Lewis was willing to be more accepting of Ellie than the mother was.
Which was an interesting change, right?
Well, there was a lot of focus on like the father-daughter relationship in that.
Yeah.
In the movie, that you didn't really see a lot of Ellie interacting with her mother. The only time she really interacted with her mother was when her mother was interrupting the father when they were having the death talk.
Yeah, it's true. I did have a strange flashback when he's like brushing her hair in the tub.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh no.
Not this again. Oh no, not this again.
It was like very similar imagery.
They handled the face changing really well in this movie for when Ellie goes after Judd and the face becomes Norma. That kind of almost made it weird because it was kind of implied that there was a problem between the Norma-Judd relationship.
Yeah, like he was abusive or he had a hand in her death or something like that.
Which was strange. Yeah. And just, okay, so I can suspend my disbelief in the book to have like a creepy toddler. Like I can do it. Like in the book when Gage is attacking Judd, he's just like, you fucked with me once. You didn't think I would come back and fuck with you again. Like, I find, and it's the same with a lot of Stephen King books that I've read, where the concept is so almost out there that I wouldn't see how it would really work as, like, a movie.
Yeah.
Like, a little tiny demonic toddler that can change what it looks like and swears and speaks perfect sentences.
Yes, a lot of it doesn't translate well to screen.
Yeah.
I think they made the right choices in this movie.
I think they did too. The biggest change to the book is the ending. You have Rachel coming back with Gage, so now the entire family unit is in the house with the Wendigo demonic daughter. And so Ellie kills the mother. Lewis puts Gage in the car. He's like, don't open the door for anyone. Only me. Not Ellie, not anyone, just me. And so he manages to get Ellie up into the pet cemetery and is going to take her down. And it's all like emotional and sad. But what he doesn't know is that Ellie has killed Rachel and has dragged her up to the Micmac burial ground, buried her. So he's like getting ready to take his daughter out, and he gets stabbed through the back by the now possessed Rachel. They drag him back up to the Micmac burial ground, and then it cuts to Gage looking at the window of the car and seeing Judd's house up in flames, and the entire family walking towards him, and Church jumps up onto the hood of the car, and Gage the sound of the car unlocking goes, and movie cuts to black.
Oh, great. Like, yeah, which is a big change from the end of the book. What happens at the end of the book is Lewis manages to kill Gage. He does it with a syringe.
Yeah, an injection of morphine.
Which was really interesting. I really kind of like this, like the symbology of that, because, you know, like you have like medicine and medical and death being like a scientific thing. And that's what he
return to control.
Yeah, and that's what he ends up killing Gage with. But then the act of kind of killing Gage and seeing Rachel dead and Judd dead kind of makes him lose his sanity. And so he picks up Rachel and starts dragging her towards the burial ground. So, like, the cycle is going to repeat again. Whereas in the movie, it's kind of like the whole family goes down.
And I liked it. I liked the how it was ambiguous. I don't want a sequel. I'm happy with where it is. I didn't sleep the night after I saw this movie, and not for the reason of being terrified. I just lay in bed thinking about, okay, what was the Wendigo's plan?
Yeah.
And I just sat there, I'm like, okay, so it feeds off of, like, grief and death. It's bringing, like, you bury your thing up there, and, like, he feeds off of your pain, and he, like, fine, okay. Does the Wendigo want the zombies?
Yeah.
Like, or is that just, like, a happy accident that now he has possessed corpses that he can walk around? Does that mean he's gonna bring more people up? Is it fair that he could hypothetically send creepy little Ellie crawling into someone's bedroom, stab them in the thing, and then drag the, like...
That doesn't seem right to me.
Like,
I feel like the dead should not be able to bury the dead.
Like, there has to be the choice, right? But then maybe, okay, he lets creepy Ellie take it, like, murder someone, and then he can feed off of the grief of the people. And, like, okay, or maybe have, like, the family masquerade as normal so they can spread the disease that is the knowledge of the Micmac burial ground, because, like, they say that some people in the town know about it, but not everyone, so maybe, okay, so now he has avatars to tell the stories so that when people die, and then if not enough people are dying, he can...
Yeah.
Why am I gendering Wendigo? And I just lay there all night thinking about this.
He wants a zombie army. He can go fight the vampires.
Salem's Lot versus Ludlow. One night only.
Would pay money.
Who would win? Because I would say it would be the Wendigo, because since in Salem's Lot they lost the big head honcho vampire, and all of the vampires that we've seen have been somewhat aimless. That would be such a good season of Castle Rock. Holy shit.
Anyways, yeah, that was one of my big thoughts when I was watching the movie. It was like, hey, the dead can't bury the dead. Like, you have to, like, I feel like when you, like, decide to bury, like, somebody in the Micmac graveyard, you're, like, losing a piece of your soul or something, and if they're already dead, it's kind of like there's no loss to it. And that was our review of the movie, guys.
I really liked it. I'm happy we went to see it. It had some pretty tense moments, but...
nothing crazy.
If I were to compare it to It from earlier last year, it was scarier. Have you seen Pet Sematary? What do you think? How do you think it held up to the book?
Yeah. And if you're interested, we're going to do a spoiler review for just the book, and we've also done a review for the book. Without spoilers, but if you're watching this video, I'm sorry, it's already been spoiled. So, check those out if you have 5 seconds.